Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to present the agenda for today's workshop. That will include opening, invocation by Apotheker Abdul Rodi M. Farm, intonate of Indonesian anthem and Ngudi Waluyo University Mars, an opening speech by Dean of Faculty of Health Ngudi Waluyo University. Our main agenda that will divide it into first presentation from Dr. Muhammad Ajmal Shah, following by question and answer session. Second presentation from Apotheker Melati Apriliana Ramadhani M. Farm, following by question and answer session. Conclude with a summary and closing remarks. Before we begin, let me share some rules to ensure a smooth experience for everyone. First, to minimize background noise, please keep your microphones mute during the presentation. All participants are required to turn on their cameras during the event and make sure the session more interactive. Third, if you have any questions, please type them in the chat box. We will address them during the Q&A session. You can write it in English or Indonesian. Fourth, in the case of technical issues, try reconnecting to the platform or contact our team. The next agenda is invocation by Apotheker Abdurrani M. Farm. To Apotheker Abdurrani M. Farm, the time is yours.
Thank you, Mrs. Salsabila. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Ladies and gentlemen, let us bow our head for a moment. Pray to God, Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, that our international workshop can be precious to our lives. I will lead this prayer based on the teaching of Islam, and those who are not Muslims, you are free to pray according to each of your belief. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alamin. Hamda yuwafi ni'amahu wa yukafi mazidah. Ya Rabbana lakal hamdu kama yanbaghi li jalali wajhikal kalimi azimil sultani. Allahumma inna nas'aluka salamatan fid din wa afiyatan fil jasad wa ziyadatan fil ilmi wa barakatan fil rizki wa taubatan qabla maut wa rahmatan indal maut wa maghfiratan ba'dal maut. Allahumma ighfir lana wa liwalidayya wal muslimin wal muslimat wal mu'minina wal mu'minat al ahya'i minhum wal amwat innaka sami'un qaribun mujibud da'wat ya qadiyal hajat. Oh Allah, today, Friday, November 29, 2024, in this beautiful place, we gather here in a virtual meeting to bring about an international workshop, isolation and mechanism action of antidiabetic agents from natural compound. Make this international workshop as a useful science assembly, as a medium of sharing useful ideas, knowledge, and experience of scholars, researchers, and students of various disciplines. May the conference we organize today benefit to our lives, broaden our knowledge, shine our ideas, and lead us to be successful, productive person, which in turn will boost the beginning of our nation. Oh Allah, guide and bless our head and our mind with the light of your guidance. Impart your supreme wisdom upon our activities. Help us to speak our minds clearly. Help us to listen to each other, respect each other, love each other, so that we are encouraged to the blessed person. Oh Allah, protect us from unintended temptation, show us the right path, and give us knowledge and strength to perform good things equally. Show us and make it clear the bad things, and give us knowledge and strength to avoid them. Oh Allah, you are the one who can fulfill our dua. Rabbana atina fid dunya hasanah wa fil akhirati hasanah wa qina azabannar. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun. Wa salamun alal mursalin. Walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Amin, amin, amin ya rabbal alamin. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
The next agenda is singing of Indonesian anthem and Multivalue University March. Ladies and gentlemen, to officially open today's workshop, let us invite the Dean of Faculty of Health, Uniwalu University, Mr. Eko Susilo Eskep Nurse MCAP, to deliver the opening speech. Mr. Eko Susilo Eskep Nurse MCAP, the time is yours.
Thank you, Ms. Salsabila. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, participants in today's meeting with the isolation and action of antidiabetic antidiabetic agent from this program at Ngudi Waluyo University. The honorable head of the pharmacy study program, Faculty of Health, Ngudi Waluyo University, Mal Shah from Azira University, and Apotheker Melati Apriliana, M.Pharm from Ngudi Waluyo University, pharmacy lecture. I hope that today we will gain useful knowledge in the development health UNW as well of education and training. Diabetes mellitus is still a global concern today. Various methods have been used to reduce the incidence, including in the Indonesia. Therefore, today's activities, we also play a role in effort to overcome the problem of diabetes mellitus. Good luck and good luck following the activity until the end. And thank you for the participant of all participants, and thank you to the organization committee. See you soon. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, Mr. Eko Susilo, Eskapnas MK, for your inspiring opening speech. Now we will proceed with documenting the theme, the speakers, and the Chief of Bachelor of Pharmacy Study Program, and also all the participants. Please turn on the camera and smile to the camera. We will process from the page 1, page 2, page 3, okay. Thank you very much for the team, Pak Eko, and all the participants for the documentation. Now, let us begin with our first session. Please welcome our first speaker, Dr. Muhammad Ajmal Syah. Assalamualaikum, Dr. Ajmal Syah.
Waalaikumsalam. Can you hear me, please?
Yeah, we can hear you clearly in here.
Okay.
Am I
Okay.
audible, sir?
Sorry?
Am I audible clearly in here?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you for joining us today. It's an honor for us to welcome you on this occasion. Before we start, I would like to introduce Dr. Muhammad Ajmal Shah's profile. Dr. Muhammad Ajmal Shah, PharmD MPhil, is a registered pharmacist and academic researcher. He obtained his bachelor's and master's degree from Federal Urdu University, Pakistan. He obtained his PhD in pharmaceutical science from the Prince of Songkla University, Thailand, by securing Thailand Education Hub for Asian Countries PhD Scholarship Award. He has published more than 100 research and review articles in well-reputed international journals. He is author of over 60 chapters in a different book published by Elsevier and Springer, and also published one book with Elsevier and one with Springer Nature. Dr. Shah is an active member of the American Society of Pharmacognosy, Phytochemical Society of Europe, American Society of Microbiology, NGA Society for Medical Plant and Natural Product Research, Germany. Previously, he has worked as an assistant professor and head of department at the Department of Pharmacognosy, Faculty of Pharmaceutical Science, Government College, University Faisal Abad, Pakistan. Currently, he is working as an assistant professor at the Department of Pharmacy, Hazara University, Pakistan. His primary research interests include green extraction and enrichment of bioactive compounds, their isolation and bioevaluation, in metabolic and aging-associated diseases such as diabetes, obesity, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's disease, etc. Wow, it's an impressive profile of our speakers. The first speakers will give presentation titled Natural Products in the Therapy of Diabetes. To Dr. Muhammad Ejmal Shah, the time is yours.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for your introduction and salam to everyone. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
First of all, I'm very thankful to your Dean of Faculty of Health Sciences. I think he is here, so I'm thankful for his presence. And after that, I'm very much thankful to Dr. Anita, the head of the bachelor program, because she is continuously in contact with me and she is trying to make the collaboration more fruitful and productive between Hazara University and Universitas Nigoti Walayu. So, yeah, I'm very happy and excited and thankful to all of the faculty member and administration of Universitas Nigoti Walayu to provide me this opportunity to interact with the growing and young pharmacists with the topic of natural product in the therapy of diabetes. So we will start from the problem that what is diabetes. So normally every healthcare professional or pharmacist know already that any kind of condition in the human body when there is a hyperglycemia or high glucose level is uh, mainly associated with the diabetes. And this is like a seventh leading cause of death throughout the world. This is a very complicated disease, and based on the pathogenesis, we can classify diabetes into two types: the type 1 and type 2. So type 1 diabetes is actually associated with the lack of insulin secretion if someone has genetically or by some disease has no capability of producing insulin or don't have enough beta cell in the body which can produce the insulin by any reason. That is called type 1 diabetes, in which the patient is totally dependent on the uh, uh, insulin administration. Whereas type 2 is associated with the insulin deficiency in insulin secretion or deficiency in insulin action. So we can also call type 2 as a diabesity because it is associated with obesity, because you know that due to a sedentary lifestyle there is more deposition of fats on the tissue layers, and of course it makes the cells and tissues more resistant to the insulin action. So in type 2 diabetes, there is either the beta cells are either not secreting, either they are secreting the insulin in less amount, or if sometimes they are secreting the insulin in enough amount, but the insulin action is like impaired. So the according to WHO, type 2 diabetes accounts for 90% of all diabetes cases throughout the world. There is another minor type of uh, type 2 diabetes, that is gestational diabetes, that happens in pregnancy, but it is reversible and like it is not a major type. The major type is type 2 diabetes, and in type 2 diabetic patients totally dependent on oral hypoglycemic drugs along with insulin. Sometimes they need insulin, and sometimes they can only be recovered or they can only be symptomatically treated with the uh, oral hypoglycemic drugs. So this is a very hard issue throughout the world because it is, as I told you, that it is a seventh leading cause of death throughout the world. So if you can see in this slide, you can see the report of International Diabetes Federation. That is like an organization who work purely on diabetes, and they collect the facts and figure every year, and they give some guidelines, and they also give some prediction for the future. So you can see that the disease is rising a lot. Like in 2021, 537 million people have been reported who are suffered with the diabetes. But if they will not be treated, so the trend will rise up, and this number will goes to 643 million people. And again, if the disease will not be cured properly, or if the reason will not be uh, handled smartly, so the number may increase to 784 million people in the world in 2045. Like in next 2 decades, the number will be almost double. Specifically, if we look at the right bottom side of the slide, the Southeast Asia, where Indonesia is located, so the progression is very high. It is about 68%. Like in 2021, 90 million people have been reported having diabetes, and the number is increasing up to 113 million in the next 5 years, and maybe it could be double in the next 2 decades. So you may guess that how much this is how much the problem is serious, and how much it is a serious health issue, not only in some part of the world, but throughout the world. And that's why it is ranked as seventh leading cause of death throughout the world. So as I told you that the type 2 diabetes is the major type of diabetes mellitus, and almost 90% patients throughout the world are suffered from type 2 diabetes. And the only solution for type 2 diabetes mellitus is to treat the patient with oral hypoglycemic drug or oral anti-diabetic therapy. So here are, you can see this is a mechanistic picture that how the anti-diabetic drug, oral anti-diabetic drug works in diabetic patient. Like there are different classes. You may see the biguanides is one of the major class, like metformin is the prototype drug of this class. And you can see that it may inhibit the glucose release after the metabolism in the liver into the bloodstream. You may see the insulin secretory drug, which may increase the insulin secretion from pancreas. You may also see the thiazolidinediones TZD that inhibit free fatty acid release from the adipose tissue into the circulation. You may see the biguanide can also work on glucose uptake in muscle, because you know that muscle is the big tissue, like it is a largest tissue in the body that consume the glucose. Because our strategy in diabetes is to maintain the blood glucose level in the normal level. So in diabetic patient, there is always hyperglycemia. So we have to control this hyperglycemic condition or increase blood glucose level by targeting these targets by using certain medication. Like we can, so the major tissue in the body that is consuming the glucose is muscle. So the biguanide is a major class that can enhance the glucose uptake by muscle. So of course, whenever there will be increase in the enhancement of glucose uptake by the muscle, so there will be normalization or standardization of the glucose level in the body fluid or in the blood. Another major target is intestine, where different enzyme inhibitors like alpha glucosidase inhibitors or alpha amylase inhibitors works on the conversion. They actually inhibit the conversion of polysaccharide into monosaccharide, because if like normally when you are taking the carbohydrate, they are in polysaccharide form or in the disaccharide form. So when you take it, they will metabolize or they will be broke into smaller unit that is called uh, monosaccharide, and this is very important. This conversion is very important for their absorption. So there are certain enzyme in the intestinal brush border like alpha glucosidase and alpha amylase that work on the conversion of polysaccharide into the monosaccharide to make them more absorbable in the blood. So if you will inhibit these enzyme, and of course these enzyme can help us to be a drug target in diabetic patient. If we can inhibit these enzyme in diabetic patient, so of course there will be no conversion of polysaccharide into monosaccharide, and in this way we can keep normalize the blood glucose level of diabetic patients. So this picture, this slide shows the mechanisms that how the anti-diabetic medication works. For research purpose, being a pharmacist, if you are thinking about some natural medicine, that how it how it is possible that it could be investigated for its anti-diabetic effects, so you should have these targets in your mind, and you can check their activity against any of these target to explore the potential of their natural compound or natural extract against the diabetes. But and you know that in the market we have several medications which are available for oral hypoglycemic effect, but most of these medications are associated with certain problems. Like, for example, the metformin that is associated with the impaired absorption of vitamins and folate. The TZT, like the insulin secretagogue, they are associated with the hepatotoxicity. Also, again, the metformin that is biguanide is associated with the lactic acidosis in myocardial infarction. And for the enzyme inhibitors, they are very expensive. Like acarbose is one of the prototype enzyme inhibitor which is used in diabetes. So the cost is very high. So we have to find some less expensive or economical uh, alpha glucosidase inhibitor in comparison to acarbose from the natural sources. And based on these problems in the current medication of anti-diabetic drugs, this actually motivate to search the new, safe, effective, and economical therapeutic moieties or compounds. And of course, whenever we are searching new compound and new drugs, so we have to go to nature, because nature is a rich source, and specifically the plants are unique sources for the novel medications or novel medicinal compounds. And maybe you already know that almost 70% of the medication in the market for any kind of disease in the pharmacy shop, almost 70% of medicines are originated from natural product and specifically from plants. So of course the plants are good natural factories for searching and for exploring the new therapeutic molecule. Until 2008, in which a study has been published, and they reported that almost more than 500 plants until now have been reported for their anti-diabetic potential. But the problem is about their mechanistic study, and only 1/5 number of the plants have been known for their anti-diabetic mechanism, and still fourth fifth of the reported plants needed to be explored for their exact anti-diabetic mechanism. So I will discuss some examples of our research. There is one plant, Rhinacanthus nasutus. This is very popular plant in the Southeast Asia, specifically in Thailand, in Malaysia, and may also be in Indonesia. You may check the local name in Indonesia because this is a plant which is grown in tropical region. So for me, myself, I have been done work on this plant and the anti-diabetic potential of this plant. Before my work, I found in the literature that the crude methanol extract of this plant have been reported for the anti-diabetic potential at a dose of 200 milligram per kilogram body weight. And the study summarized that this plant extract increases the total carbohydrate, total protein, glycogen level in the mice. And they use the streptozotocin-induced diabetic viscerate diabetes model to test this plant extract. In this experiment, they also found that the extract has significantly decreased the liver marker enzyme and it decreased the body weight and blood glucose level. Also, it has some effect on the carbohydrate metabolizing enzyme. The question was that what are the compounds and what are the actual moieties in this plant which are responsible for the anti-diabetic potential. So our lab worked with some Malaysian lab, and we were already working on this plant for other diseases like for its antimicrobial activity and other activities. So we have gifted them the compound which we already isolated from this plant, that is Rhinacanthin C, and they tested and they concluded that at a dose of 5 milligram and 20 milligram per kg body weight, Rhinacanthin C, which is the major compound of Rhinacanthus nasutus, is actually responsible for the anti-diabetic potential that Rhinacanthus nasutus exert in streptozotocin-induced diabetic rates. But the problem about this, and this slide can summarize the anti-diabetic potential of Rhinacanthin C, which we have isolated from this plant. Like it decreased the plasma blood glucose level, glycated hemoglobin, lipid profile, and it increases the serum insulin level. It also increases the GLUT2 level. GLUT2 is actually the protein, the transporter in the liver and in the muscle that is associated for the glucose transport, intracellular transport for its metabolism. But the problem that arises, and we thought that this compound, Rhinacanthin C, is not available commercially. So if it is not available commercially, of course, you have to isolate it from the plant every time. So it means you cannot commercialize it. For commercialization, of course, the diabetes is not a disease that is uh, only only in Indonesia or in Pakistan or in any other country, but it is like a global problem. So, of course, the anti-diabetic medication, whenever you are planning to think about some novel anti-diabetic medication, you have to keep in your mind that uh, your your compound or your medicine should be in sustainable form, like you can get it easily for scaling up and uh, for fulfilling the requirement of the global needs, because you will have to prepare the medicine for the global needs. So of course the problem which was associated with this plant, I already showed you in the previous slide, this compound which we have isolated, and we proved this hypothesis that this plant has the anti-diabetic activity due to this compound. But the problem is this compound is not available commercially, and whenever we are isolating it, so we have to use huge amount of toxic solvent, because in isolation of natural compounds you need to use more amount of toxic organic solvent that is not a environment friendly practice. And of course, it takes long time, more energy, and more labor. And the final cost is very important because being a pharmacist, we have always to think for the patient that we should provide a cost effective treatment for any disease or economical medication for our patient. So the final problem was the cost. So we tried to find an alternative. Like we have to get this compound from the nature, but what should be the method that is more sustainable, that is more green, and that is less expensive as compared to the isolation of the pure compound. So we were already working on the green extraction of different natural product in our lab. So we also thought that we can prepare renacantins rich extract by microwave assisted green extraction technique. Why we use this technique for extraction and for enrichment? Because it consumes less solvent volume needed for extraction. This is benefit. It can consume the extraction rate is very fast and high. Just you need few minutes for the performance of the experiment. It need less amount of energy. The extract yield is very high, like you can get more amount of the extract. So it is low cost and environment friendly. And of course, it is a 1 or 2 step process. So you can reduce the unit operation. And finally, you can use the green solvent. Green solvent means the bioconsumable solvent, either water or ethanol or the combination. So for standardization of the extract, that how much amount of the compound would be present in our extract, which we will prepare by the green method, we have isolated the marker compounds, and the major compound that was renacanthin C, we got it directly in some fractions. And for renacanthin D and N, we did crystallize them in the remaining fraction, and we purified them to be used as a standard for the standardization or quantification of renacanthins in the renacanthin rich extract prepared from Renacanthus nasutus. This is the whole process you can see in this slide. We have collected the plant material, then we dried it at 60 degrees C for 24 hours, then we grind it into powder. Someone is raising here. Is there any question? Or it is by mistake?
No, it's a mistake. So,
Okay.
you may continue.
You can keep your question. You can write it, and when I will finish the lecture, so I will answer one by one to all questions. Don't worry. Okay. So just
Okay.
keep writing the question, and we will discuss in the last. So this slide shows the preparation, the green preparation of renacanthin's rich extract. You may also take the idea if you want to follow this method for any kind of extraction of your plant material, but you have to study it first. So first, of course, we collect the plant material, we wash it, then we dry it, and then we grind it, and then we use a household microwave for extraction. So what are the important parameters to be considered during extraction using microwave extractor or household microwave oven? So three things, like the first is you have to keep in mind about the frequency or the power, that is 900 watt. We use 900 watt. Sometimes you can see the power that microwave indicate is 1, 2, 3 up to 10. So 10 means P10 means 100 watt. So we use 900 watt power, and we did 4 cycles. Like each cycle, we expose the material in ethanol for 1.5 minute power on, and then we power off for 30 seconds, and we open the door of the microwave oven for removing the fumes of ethanol. And the ratio that we used for extraction was 100 gram in 500 ml of ethanol. And we repeated it 2 times, like we extracted 1 time, we filtered it, and we re-extracted the plant material again with the fresh ethanol. And the filtrate was actually our crude extract. We passed this crude extract through an ion exchange resin column to enrich the compound, like to remove the other unnecessary compound and to enrich our compounds of interest. And we already did preliminary study on this, and we knew that our compound can be enriched by using this kind of ion exchange resin column. So of course, this is uh, biodegradable polymer, and yeah, so it is also green. And we just loaded the ethanolic filtrate in the column, and then we kept the flow rate at 1.5 ml per minute, and we have removed all the other substances. So, of course, due to the ion exchange interaction between the compound, the renacanthins and the amber light, they interacted together and they stayed in the column. And later on, when we changed the pH by adding 10% of acetic acid in the ethanol, and we started to wash out the column, so we got all the compound in this solvent, and then we evaporated, and finally we got enough amount of 9.5 gram of renacanthin rich extract from the plant material we have extracted. So for isolation, as I told you before, we subjected our rich extract to silica gel column because we needed standard for the standardization to isolate the major 3 compounds, renacanthin N, renacanthin C, and renacanthin D. So the first one, renacanthin N in fraction A, we got it recrystallized, and we got it in some quantity, enough quantity for standardization. The fraction C was in the last fraction, and the middle fraction, that was the major compound, and we got it up to 3.17 gram, and that was renacanthin C. So the need for this isolation was just to purify the standard to check our extract, that how much compound in our rich extract is present about this compound. Then we tested by already established method the rich extract by HPLC, and we found that we just compare the crude extract. The crude extract is that one that we didn't pass through the amber light column. Just we extracted in microwave and we filtered. That was the crude extract. And the rich extract was that one that we passed through the amber light column and we enriched our compound. So you can see in this table, the first compound, that is renacanthin C, was just 6% in the crude extract, but it was increased to 62% in the rich extract. And this is actually the major compound. The renacanthin D was 1% and it was increased to 7.9%. Renacanthin N was the minor one, and it was increased from 0.5 to 3.6%. And the total renacanthins, like combine all these three, were 8% in the crude extract, but in the rich extract, these were more than 70%. And the yield of crude extract was 15% and rich extract was around 3%. So we hypothesized that the rich extract that contain 73% of renacanthins could be the alternative for the pure renacanthin C compound. And here you can see the HPLC chromatograph. So this is for the standard one, and this is the crude for the crude one, and this is for the pure one. So our hypothesis was to compare the rich extract in comparison to the pure renacanthin C, because we are just justifying that the extract that we have prepared by a green method could be the alternative of the natural compound. So whenever you are working on some disease, either it is diabetes or it is Alzheimer or it is Parkinson, you must know the targets, that which targets you have to test against your compound. So normally in diabetes we have four types of targets, or you can say we have four types of experiments that we can perform for our compound or for our extract. The first one, the first strategy is the enzyme inhibition strategies, because there are several enzymes involved in the diabetes treatment. As I told you earlier, that alpha amylase and alpha glucosidase are the two enzymes which are present in the intestinal uh, brush border of each human body, and these enzymes are responsible for the conversion of polysaccharide into monosaccharide, which is more absorbable in the bloodstream. So of course, whenever you will target these enzymes, alpha amylase and alpha glucosidase, and if there is some enzyme, some vegetable, some fruit, some compound that can inhibit these enzymes, so of course you can use that inhibitor as a therapeutic agent for the treatment of diabetes. Another strategy is in vitro non-enzyme inhibition assay. That is, one is antioxidant and another is anti-glycation. Of course, you know, oxidation or the generation of free radical is one of the reason that actually damage the beta cell, and they affect the secretion of insulin from the beta cell. So whenever there is such condition, you can consume the antioxidants, and the antioxidant actually protect the beta cells, and they enhance the life of the beta cell. So antioxidant is one of the indirect target of the anti-diabetic experiment. Anti-glycation, what is glycation? You should know it. Whenever there is hyperglycemia in the body, whenever there is a high blood glucose level in your body, so what will happen? The high or excessive blood glucose will react with your body protein, like with the albumin and other protein of your body. And this reaction, the high glucose level, the extra glucose level in diabetic patient, the reaction of extra glucose level with the body protein of the diabetic patient will cause the formation of glycation product. And these glycation products are actually responsible for the complication of diabetes. For example, you know the complications of diabetes like nephropathy, neuropathy, and other problems. These all problems are associated with the formation of a glycation product. So naturally, we have many compounds and many natural anti-diabetic substances that can work in this way, that they can inhibit the glycation. And whenever there will be inhibition of glycation, so of course we can control the complications and the severity of the symptoms of complications of diabetes. Another method is, and this is more popular, this is cell-based method. You have to cultivate the mammalian cell like the glucose for as I told you earlier, that muscle is the largest tissue that is responsible for the glucose uptake. So you can grow the mammalian muscle cell in a petri dish, and you can check the activity of certain compound and plant extract, that they are increasing the glucose uptake of a potential of the cell or not. So this is another strategy. And you can also isolate the beta cell from mice or rats, and you can check the effect of the compound on the on the insulin secretion activity of the beta cell, on the isolated beta cell. That either your compound or extract can enhance the insulin secretion or not. So this is another strategy. And finally, after doing all these in vitro studies, in vitro means in which there is no involvement of animal, but you are just doing it in outside the animal body, animal subject. So once you will have positive results in one of these or all of these in vitro models, finally you will validate the anti-diabetic effect of the compound or the extract in animal model. There are certain animal models for diabetes, like you have to induce, whenever you are working on animal model, first you have to induce the disease in the animal. Like for example, if you have selected rats or mice for your experiment, so you have to inject some chemical substance for producing diabetes in the mice or in the rat. Like for example, you can use streptozotocin, that is diabetic agent. You can inject at 40 to 60 milligram per kg body weight to the mice or rat, and of course after 2 or 3 days the mice or rat will be diabetic. You can test it by the blood glucose level by tipping the tail of the rat or the mice. There is eloxan. Eloxan is also a chemical that is used for induction of diabetes. And also there is if you are preparing obesity associated diabetic model, so you have to feed the animals with high fat diet to induce the type 2 or diabetes induced rate model. So these are the different strategies how you can plan for testing of any natural compound or natural extract or any synthetic compound or any substance that you think that is useful for diabetes. So how you can test it, these are the models which you can use for the testing of diabetic treatment. So how we did for the we tested, you can see the green tick and the cross. The green tick means that our compounds and extract has positive effect in the assay, like there is a green tick on alpha glucosidase inhibition assay. So our compounds have the potential for alpha glucosidase inhibition, but they don't have potential for alpha amylase inhibition. So that has a cross. So I will discuss the positive one. How we planned the alpha glucosidase inhibition assay. We, of course, for enzyme activity, you need a substrate. Every enzyme acts on the substrate. So the substrate which is used in our experiment, which was used in our experiment for the alpha glucosidase activity was PNPG. We use specific amount of this substrate in potassium phosphate buffer, and we prepare the enzyme in a certain amount, and we added the enzyme and substrate solution in the plate, and we also added different samples, different concentration of our compound, and then we incubated it for 40 minutes at 37 degrees C, like human body temperature, and then we check finally the absorbance, because the enzyme actually react with the substrate and it produce a colored compound. And of course, the colored compound, the quantity of the colored compound is directly proportional to the enzymatic activity. More will be the yellow colored compound, more will be the enzyme activity. But if you will add some inhibitor that inhibit the activity of the enzyme, so there will be less formation of the compound. So there will be less color compound. Maybe you can see in this plate, the more color compound, the more yellow color means the more enzyme activity, and the less color means the less activity. So the absorbance of this compound actually gives us the the activity. We can correlate the absorbance of this compound or the quantity of this complex between the substrate and enzyme with the activity of the inhibitor. In this experiment, we found that our rinacantin-rich extract has a very good activity, that is 26. The IC50 value is 26 microgram per ml. that is like comparable to the major compound, that is renakintin C 22, renakintin D 71, and the renakintin N was not active, whereas the IC50 of acarbose was 396. So you can see that how much the compound and extract was potent. It was more potent than acarbose. Acarbose is the standard drug that is present in the market as alpha glucosidase inhibitor. We also check the mechanism that how our compound works, because there are different types of inhibitors: competitive inhibitor, non-competitive inhibitor, mixed inhibitor. So we were interested to know that which kind of inhibition our compounds did. Like the drug acarbose that is available in the market is not is a competitive inhibitor. So, but in our study of kinetic study of our inhibitor, we found that our compounds are non-competitive inhibitor. You can see non-competitive inhibitor. In this graph, we can this is like a detailed method. I cannot discuss all, but I'm just showing you that what was the mechanism of our compound. So we found that our compounds and extract were non-competitive inhibitor. And we already know from literature that acarbose is the competitive inhibitor. So our interest further increases, and we wanted to combine our compound with the acarbose, because acarbose is competitive inhibitor and our compounds are non-competitive inhibitors. So we thought that if we combine these together, so both the competitive and non-competitive inhibitor will have more effect in combination rather than their individual effect. So we checked their different combinations, and we found that uh, in comparison to the individual effect of the compound and acarbose, the combined effect are almost double or more. So we can say the synergistic activity, they have the synergistic potential with the drug. So we concluded that uh, if our compounds are extract is non-competitive inhibitor and acarbose is competitive inhibitor, so even though if we co-administer the plant extract with the acarbose, so it may reduce the dose and requirement of the acarbose, even though they can individually inhibit in better way than acarbose, but still it can be used in combination with the acarbose to have more therapeutic effect. We also did some docking for finding the structure activity relationship of our compound, and we found by computational analysis or in silico analysis that the compounds has the affinity with the certain points of the enzyme alpha glucosidase protein, and it has some irreversible binding with the enzyme, and it can um, we explore by this experiment, this in silico experiment, that how how our compound is interacting with the enzyme. And luckily we published this article in Q1 journal, that is Journal of Functional Food, you can see. And interestingly, you can see on the left side about article info, article history. You can see this article is received on 5th January 2017, and it is directly accepted on 8th July 2017 in the same year. There was no revision. Like how perfectly we drafted. This was actually my first article in my PhD, so I put more efforts on it, and it was directly accepted by the Q1 journal, which is very rare, without any revision. The next essay that we performed, or normally you can perform for anti-diabetic activity, is the anti-glycation activity. As I told you earlier, that the diabetic complications are very serious nowadays, and the diabetic complications are actually associated with the reaction of extra glucose in the body with the body protein. And these complexes are, and these complex molecules actually causes the inflammatory signaling, cross-linking, apoptosis, vascular pathology, nephropathy, atherosclerosis, and retinopathy. So this was also an in vitro assay, and we performed in 96 well plate. We made a glycation medium and we tested our compound in different concentration. And interestingly, we found that the rich extract as well as the major compound in acanthine C has almost equivalent activity to the positive control that was rutin. And the data indicate that our compound not only have the effect about alpha glucosidase inhibition, but they may also have the anti-glycation effect. So they can normalize the hyperglycemic condition as well as they can combat with the diabetic complications. So it can treat the hyperglycemia as well as it can combat with the diabetic complications. Again, here we checked the compounds that how they are exerting the anti-glycation potential, and by molecular docking, we have concluded that how these compounds are binding with the proteins to protect them from reacting with the uh, extra glucose. And this data was published in a Q2 journal, that is Pharmacognosy Magazine, in which we published about the antioxidant potential as well as the anti-glycation potential of the compound. Another experiment that we can perform about the anti-diabetic of natural compound or natural product is the insulin secretory activity. So we also perform this activity even though we didn't get good result, but you can know about it. You can isolate the beta cell of the under microscope, the beta cell from the pancreas of the mice. You can incubate these cells in a specific medium along with the different concentration of the compound, and then you can check the insulin concentration in the medium that your compounds have been increased the activity, the insulin secretion activity from the beta cell or not. We have tested, but our compounds did not have the satisfactory activity, so we concluded that the anti-diabetic mechanism that is exerted by Rhinacanthus nasutus or rhinacanthin-rich extract along with its marker compound is just more focused on the alpha glucosidase inhibition and some further which I will show you, and not about this mechanism. Then we check the another major target, that is glucose uptake. As I told you that that muscle is the largest tissue of the body, and this is the main area where glucose are consuming. So we have tested our compounds and extract in rat myoblast, L6 rat myoblast, and we found that that our compounds in comparison to metformin and insulin, they have very good glucose uptake activity. You may see in this graph at a concentration of 0.62 microgram up to 2.5 microgram per ml, the compounds and the extract have shown very good glucose uptake activity in the muscle cells. We published this activity and this potential. It was not just about glucose uptake, but we also perform about uh, anti-adipogenic activity, like we tested on the fat cell, 3T3L1 fat cell adipocytes, and interestingly we found our compounds and extract that it may exert a very good anti-adipogenic activity, and both the anti-adipogenic and glucose uptake stimulatory activity further rationalized the use of Rhinacanthus nassutus or the prepared extract or compounds from the extract for the treatment of diabetes. So after that, we tested based on these results, we tested in animals. You can see in this paper, we tested the extract in comparison to the pure compound in the animal model, and we found that the pure compound renacanthin C as well as the renacanthin rich extract has bioequivalent uh, anti-diabetic as well as anti-hyperlipidemic effects of in streptozotocin induced diabetic rates. And for the diabetic complication, we also check the activity of the renacanthin rich extract and renacanthin C in oxidative stress and inflammation in streptozotocin against oxidative stress and inflammation in streptozotocin nicotinamide induced diabetic nephropathy. And interestingly, in both studies, in diabetic nephropathy, in hyperlipidemia, and in hyperglycemia, in all these three models, animal models, we got very good result in comparison to the positive control. I will start the next story, but after drinking a glass of water. So if you have any question until now, so you may ask me, okay? Then we will proceed to the next story.
Is there any question from all the participants? If you have any question, you might type in the chat box, and we will provide and address it in the Q&A session, guys. Okay, session for Dr. Ajmasha. Is it okay? After you
Okay,
finish
so I should
the
continue?
presentation. Yes, please.
Okay. So the next story is about Berberis lycium. One of my PhD student, his work on this plant. This is very interesting plant in our area, especially because we are living in the north of Pakistan, in Himalayan regions, and we have this plant more abundant in this region. Normally, this plant is traditionally used for its antimicrobial activity, and wound healing activity. But it has more potential about cancer, neuroprotection, anti-diabetic, and immunomodulation. Again, the story is like revolving not around the leaf but around the root bark, and the root bark is just peel off from the root, and it is used in many traditional medicine too. It is like a kind of berries, so it is edible. Even the root bark is edible, and the people are using it for throat infection and even for the skin problems like some wound healing, infections. Okay, so we extensively studied. Even though my master, I did work on this plant, but in my after when I became a professor, so I asked my PhD student that this is one of the interesting plants, so you should work on it. So in literature, we found that the major compound, whenever you are working on the plant or have about any disease, you must know one thing that is very important. You should search very well about that what is the major compound in this plant. So the knowledge about major compound or marker compound is very important. Once you will know the major or marker compound of your plant, it may be a single compound or it may be a group of compound. Like in the previous slide, I have shown you there were three compound, and we call it renacanthins C, D, and F. So we call them renacanthins. But here in this case, we have a single compound, and that is berberine. Berberine is an isoquinoline alkali. Maybe you have studied it in pharmacognosy because you are third and fifth semester students, right? And we also have pharmacognosy here. I'm teaching pharmacognosy to third and fifth semester. So you know quinoline, isoquinoline alkali that has two benzene. In one benzene there is nitrogen, and another benzene is just with the. So you can say that pyridine, addition of benzene to pyridine is called right? Isoquinoline ring. Addition of pyridine to benzene is can be called as isoquinoline ring. And all the alkalides are compound that have isoquinoline ring is called isoquinoline alkalides. Alkalides, why we call it alkalide? Because it contains nitrogen, and nitrogen has a lone pair of electron. So due to the presence of lone pair of electron on nitrogen, alkalides, these are alkali like compound, like basic compounds. So basic means alkali, so that's why they are called alkalide. So the marker compound or the major compound in this plant is berberine. And in literature, as I told you, in traditional medicine here in Pakistan and in India, and maybe in, I don't know it is available in your country or not, but in many countries it is used for different traditional medicinal purposes. Even though at my home we always have in bottle the powder of this plant, and when there is like some complicated infection or wound, so we can put it as a powder, and it is very quick healer. And also, if there is like some oral infections, about fungal infection or throat infection, and I have just like designed a remedy. So I suggest to my family they just take the powder of this plant and take the powder of curcumin and just mix at the time of application, mix in glycerin, because glycerin is also humectant, so it's very good for oral infection. Just mix in glycerin and just use it. So as per my experience, I have seen many cases that someone is using very good antifungal gel or cream, but they are not getting relief. But when they use just 2 or 3 times this powder along with curcumin in glycerin and just put in the mouth, so after 2 or 3 times you can get like relief from the fungal infection. So this is very potent antimicrobial, antifungal, as well as the anti-cancer. There are anti-cancer reports, anti-diabetic, wound healer. So the problem about this compound is that because the powder is nothing without this compound, and whenever you are working on some natural product, either it is extract, vegetable extract, fruit extract, or medicinal herb extract, you must think about or you must search about the marker or major compound. So here the case is berberine. So about berberine, again, commercially it is very expensive. We have already bought it, and we just got few for our experiment, few milligram in like 200 or 300 euros. So it is very expensive if you want to buy it. So if it is very expensive, it means you cannot prepare it as a medicine from the commercial one, because the cost of the product will be very high. Another way is you have to extract or isolate it from the plant, from this plant. This is also not uh, like a sustainable one, because for isolation you need, whenever you are isolating the compound, you need more time, more energy, and you need to consume huge amount of organic solvent for isolation of a single compound. And the efficiency is very low. Like you can get very less quantity of the compound whenever you are isolating from the natural source. So we try to think about the green extraction again and enrichment. So in the literature we studied, my students studied, and we found that previously someone has extracted this plant in 2020, and they just extracted the extract were just contained 13% of berberine, 13%. So our target was how we can increase the amount of this compound by improving or modifying the extraction technique. It should be green, it should be less time taking, and the cost should be low. This was our strategy. So what we did, we obtained the bark, peel of the bark from the plant and washed and dried. And again, we have extracted in microwave at a solvent ratio like this, 100 and 500 ml. And we repeated this 2 times. We keep the power of the microwave 100%, and we took the time for one cycle about 6 minutes. After the extraction in microwave, just after 6 minutes, we have immediately filtered it. Now you can see, normally if you are doing maceration or other techniques, so you are keeping the plant material for a long time, maybe 1 day, 2 day, for weeks, then you refresh the solvent, so it take more time. So for example, if you are working in industry, so the cost of the product will be very high, because the industry is normally calculating the cost of the product based on the time from the labor, based on the electricity you are consuming, and other things. So if you can do some techniques just in 5 or 6 minutes instead of 5 or 6 days, so I think it is more economical and more cost effective. So keep in mind, I have planned to visit your university in September. So maybe we will conduct a workshop next year. So we will conduct a workshop on the green extraction. So you can keep your samples from now, and we can do it practically at your lab. This is very simple technique, because you just need a household microwave. Sometimes I do it at my home too. Like for example, if I want to make some herb like ginger or something, so instead of consuming it directly or making it tea by boiling, I just take some material and put in the cup and keep in the microwave, run for 1 or 2 minutes, and just drink it. So the efficiency of microwave, later on in another lecture I will show you, I will compare uh, the extraction techniques, that how we can have better result in microwave or green extraction rather than the conventional one by heating or by boiling or by maceration. So you just need a microwave and beaker and solvent and powder, just weigh it and put it and run it for 3 times and then filter it. So you will get it the crude extract. You can see these are the actual picture of my PhD student. And then we thought that we can use a biodegradable resin column, that is dion, based on the literature search, and we can enrich the berberine amount in our extract. We can remove the other compounds, and then if we change the mobile phase, the characteristic of the mobile phase, we can take the enriched fractions, and we can get more amount of the compounds. So we used ion HP20 column, and we use the mobile phase as a 30 to 70% ethyl alcohol in water, and we kept the flow rate at 20 ml per minute. And in some fractions, we got very good amount of the berberine. We collected them, evaporated, and we named them as BRE, berberine rich extract. We analyzed by HPLC this BRE, and we found that the crude extract is this one, just after filtration. And rich extract is after passing the column. So the crude extract contain 32%. So now you can see back to the literature. Here they just use the conventional method, that was succinate, and the amount was 13%. But we use just only microwave, reduce the amount of solvent, reduce the time, reduce the energy, and we got more than double amount, that is 32. So there is a huge difference between 13 and 32. So the crude extract was 32%, contained 32% of berberine, and berberine rich extract that we passed through the dione column, we got it 58%. So our rich extract contained 58% of the berberine. Back you can see very simple process. Instead of isolation or commercially purchasing, you can see you have just take the powder, extracted in microwave, and passed through this one-step fractionation column, and you got it almost equivalent to the pure compound, because you can see it is around 60% berberine present in the rich extract. And then what we did, we compared the rich extract that we prepared by this less expensive method, green method, that contain almost 58% of berberine. We compared it with the commercially available expensive berberine, and we found that our berberine rich extract has very good bioactivity in different model. You can see in this paper, we compared the berberine rich extract in inflammation, different inflammation models, and we found that the berberine rich extract has a very good bioequivalent activity against, in comparison to commercially available berberine. You can see the model like we use in vitro model, as well as the in vivo model, and we compare the activity, anti-inflammatory activity of berberine rich extract and berberine at a dose of 25, 75, and 125 milligram per kg, compared to diclofenac sodium, that is a drug, anti-inflammatory drug present in the market, in carrageenan and formaldehyde induced inflammation in Wistar rat. These are two different models in which we use. One is carrageenan. Carrageenan is a chemical that we inject in the paw of the rat or mice, and the paw or the paw is inflamed. We measure the inflammation with vernier caliper, then we give the oral dose of our compound, and then we again measure, and we are looking at the reduction in the size of the inflammation. So these are the two popular method, and we got it published in a very good journal, that is Food Biochemistry. Another study which we have performed for this rich extract in comparison to commercially available expensive berberine was anti-Alzheimer activity. So we tested the berberine rich extract in comparison to commercially available expensive berberine in aluminum chloride induced rat Alzheimer model, and we check different parameters like biochemical parameters, behavioral parameters, and some gene level studies. And at each parameter, we found that our berberine rich extract that we have already prepared has a very significant anti-Alzheimer activity in comparison to the commercially available expensive berberine and to the standard drug. And that's why our study, one of my master's student worked this, and we got it published in a Q1 Journal of Environmental Science and Pollution Research in 2023. And in the last study, we did the anti-diabetic activity of berberine, because previously berberine and berberis lycium have been reported for their anti-diabetic activity. So I have proposed to one of my master student to do work on antidiabetic potential on the berberine rich extract, green product that we have already prepared in our lab, in the comparison to commercially available expensive berberine. And again, in this study, we use streptozotocin induced diabetic rats for testing the berberine, the anti-diabetic effect of berberine rich extract in the comparison to berberine and the standard drug, and we found very good result. And we also concluded that the mechanism of berberine or berberine rich extract in diabetes is the on the molecular level is GLUT2 receptor. It targets the GLUT2 receptor and it gives us a comparable anti-diabetic activity. So whenever you are doing such kind of work that is based on green approach, that is based on creativity and novelty, so before publishing you should go toward pattern. You should, because you have a creative work, you have developed a new method, and you are working on knowledge-based economy, so you must file the patent. So the same we did when we first time prepared the green the berberine rich extract by green method. We have filed it as a patent in the intellectual property organization patent office of Pakistan, and hopefully some industries are also interested to work with us on this to make some product. But my next target is to make that I told you I'm trying and at my home. So maybe I will think about for preparing some gel or oral mouthwash or gargles, because it is easier and now we have already the method. So one of the interesting strategy is, if you are going like this is the basic research which I taught you. Another is the applied one. So for the applied, first you should do basic research, because the people will not believe on your research until you have a very good publication on your story. So first you should make a very good story, you should do research, you should publish in good journal, and then you can promote it as a product. So now, like before I use the organic solvent, now I will find some pharmaceutical excipient which has the same polarity with my solvent that I used in my research, and I will extract this compound, this plant, in that pharmaceutical excipient. For example, if I am preparing a mouthwash, so of course I will make some propylene glycol or in combination with water or something to compound. If you, the first thing is you must know the major compound, that what is the major compound in the plant. Then you should know the polarity of the compound, that what are the best condition and best solvent for the extraction of that compound. Then you can just compare those organic solvent polarity with the available pharmaceutical excipients. There are many pharmaceutical excipients in different forms. And whenever you are planning to go toward the product, you can just extract that plant material in that excipient and you can get a standardized product, because you have already the method of HPLC of testing. So you, once you prepare in pharmaceutical excipient some product, you can test the exact compound by HPLC in that product, and you can label on your product that this product contain berberine how many milligram. Even though your product is herbal, but it is more standardized. And this is like the topic of today in the World Health Organization and other organizations. They want to standardize the traditional medicine. So this is the way how we can standardize and how we can make our traditional medicine more believable and more scientific, and how we can translate the traditional knowledge and we can validate them scientifically into a proper valid product. So yeah, so there could be a possible commercialization, and of course one product is enough for your whole life if you will get a very good product. So yeah, this was all about. And now I think it's enough for me because I already talked more than 1.5 hours. So let's go toward the
Uh,
question and answer session.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ajmal. There was very uh, insightful presentation. I was really interested in that formulation, glycerin, berberine, and curcumin. Maybe you can formulate it in buccal form, or maybe mouthwash and anything. And maybe you can use a simple method extraction like microwave assay extraction, which is less cost of solvent, less cost resource, and also less energy, right? Also, Dr. Ashmasha. Okay, now it's time for the question and answer session. We encourage meaningful discussion throughout the session where you can engage directly with our experts. We have received some question. Do you want to answer it directly, Dr. Rajma? Or may I read it all aloud in one? Kok keluar ya? Keluar ya, Bu? I'm so sorry for the all participants. There is some technical issues where our speakers is not on Zoom. We'll back for a minute. Please wait until we confirm to our speakers. Assalamualaikum, Dr. Ajmal.
I'm sorry, I got disconnected. I don't know. It was a problem. Okay,
Okay,
so go ahead.
okay. There are some question. There's two question. Would you like to answer it directly, or may I read it all out loud for one?
Okay.
Okay. There is three or four. Okay, question. The first question from Siti Hoyrul Yulitaningrum. How can we optimize the temperature and duration when performing extraction using MAA?
The first question is
How can we optimize the temperature and duration
any
when
question?
performing
Okay.
extraction?
This one
Yes,
is Putri.
up to three.
What are the main pharmacological activities of berberine? This one?
Oh, uh, wait for a minute, Dr. Ajmal. We will share
Okay.
a question.
Okay.
Okay, thank you very much. First question
So this
from
is the
Siti.
first,
Yes,
the
this
first
is the
question,
first
right?
question from Siti
This is about
Hoirul.
optimization, right?
Yes, right.
Yeah, this is very important because I just told you the shortly. When you are planning for working on extraction by microwave assisted method, so of course you have to do optimization. For optimization, how you can do it? You need to make a set of experiment. Like, of course, it depends on you that what you are optimizing. Either you are optimizing temperature, either you are optimizing the frequency, either you are optimizing the time. Time is also very important. Either you are optimizing the solvent powder ratio. This is also a very, so these are the actual parameter, the time, the frequency, the temperature, and the solvent powder ratio. For each set you have performed in different condition. You have make a set of condition, and the extract you get it, you have to analyze. So in which condition you have the high amount of the compound, so that will be the more suitable. But specifically for the temperature, this is very good question. When you are using the organic solvent in the microwave, so there is a chance of bumping. So keep in mind, whenever you are keeping the beaker in the microwave, don't cover it the aluminum foil. Keep in mind, keep it open. This is one thing. Another is you should have a thermometer. For example, if you are using ethanol for the extraction, so the boiling point of ethanol is 78, right? So you must break your extraction in small cycle, like 30-minute on and then off, 1 minute on, off. And at every interval, you should check the boiling point of the the solvent. So you must not exceed the time that may cause the boiling or the bumping. Okay, so this is one way how we optimize, because we already know the whenever we are using the solvent in the extraction, so we know already the boiling point, and we must know the time, that at which time it will come at the boiling point. So that should be the maximum point. You should not exceed that point. You
Thank
got my
you for
point?
the answer. Yes, that's very makes us more known about microwave as a section. The other question is from Priya Adikayanti. Is there a potential scientific effect of the combination RRA and antidiabetic drug other except acarbose?
Okay, for our study, because we screen our compounds and the RRE, renacanthin rich extract, in different models, as I have shown you, and the best result we got in alpha glucosidase inhibition. So based on the model, because this was more easier in, especially in enzyme and in antimicrobial assays, you can easily do synergistic activity. But uh, for glucose uptake and other assay, we also have like an area that we can check the combined effect. But for the why we did with the ACARB was because of the mechanism. We went on the mechanism. Our RRE was the non-competitive inhibitor, and we already know that acarbose was the competitive inhibitor. So we thought that if we combine the competitive and non-competitive inhibitor together, so the effect will be double. So that's why we proceed for synergistic activity in this model.
So it's based on the mechanism action of the drug and the compound. So you will combine it so that synergy effect will happen. Okay, from the third question, from Sri Wahyuni. Is there any green extraction that can be used any other than microwave SI extraction?
Yeah, of course, there are many methods, like you can use the supercritical method, in which you have to liquefy the carbon dioxide, but those techniques are very expensive. The machines are very expensive. This is the most simple one because you know the microwave is present in every kitchen. So that's why we have chooses this to make it more economical and more accessible.
Microwaves can be used and can be found anywhere. So
Yes.
it's kind of be less, more effective and efficient. Okay, for the next question.
What is
Yes.
cost? The cost, like
Yes.
for example,
Yes.
everyone don't have the access to the big lab, to the supercritical or ultrasonic or other. There are many methods, but this method is very simple and accessible to everyone. Like even you don't need to go to the lab; you can perform it at your kitchen. You know.
Just like you told us before, you have had to class and the solvent and also the sources. Okay, the next question is Putri Noviawati. What are the main pharmacological activities of berberine and what is its potential in plant-based medicine for diseases such as diabetes, cancer, and infection?
Actually, the berberine
That's great.
is very well studied compound, very well studied alkaloid, and I have heard that it is nowadays it is under clinical trials. Maybe it could be a generic medicine in near future, but the problem is the cost. What we did, we worked on the cost. We didn't report a new activity. We just repeated the old activities, but we worked on the cost, that how we are presenting the alternative of the commercial berberine. That is very expensive. So there are many activities, even though my students have written some review on the berberine. I think I have two or three review article on berberine. If you are interested, so you can just go on my profile and you can check. You will find very good review article in which we have summarized all the activities. It like for berberine and curcumin, these are very unique compounds and they have almost any kind of potential. They are reported in every kind of disease and murder.
Okay. Curcumin is also used in Indonesian as for food, for the kitchen. We can also find it everywhere. Okay, maybe this is gonna be the last question, or we have to continue after this, doctor? Because
Yeah, yes, you
there's
can ask the
another
question,
question.
no
Oh,
problem.
okay, okay.
You can ask the
From
question. No
Alfi
problem.
Setiawati, most group of chemical components
I,
in
I, I
plants.
am off today. I have no more lecture, so no problem.
Oh,
If you can,
okay, thank you
yeah.
very
But I
much,
have
doctor.
because we have 2 hour difference. So
Yes,
after 25 minutes, I will go for pray because
okay,
it is now 12:33
yes,
here.
yes,
So
okay.
we have Friday prayer at 1 p.m.
1 p.m.
So
Okay.
we are 2 hour back from you.
Yes. There's a 2 hours
Yeah,
difference, right?
so after 25 minutes I will go for pray. So I still have 25 minutes with you.
Thank you very much. Okay, this is a question for Alfi Setiawati. Most group of chemical components in plants are flavonoid, alkanoid, phenol, and other. Which of these groups of chemical compounds has the potential to be developed as an antidiabetic drug?
Again, it depends on your experiment and in your work. But I told you, you know, the plant extracts are very complex and every extract has more than 1,000 compounds. But there is some hidden gem, you know, and that hidden gem is the marker compound. Like for berberis, the marker compound is berberine. For curcuma, the marker compounds are curcuminoids. For Rhinacanthus nasutus, the marker compounds of rhinacanthins. So the plants which are well studied already, we can know from the literature that what are the marker compounds, and you can decide the marker compounds on two bases. One is the quantity of the compound, that how much this compound or group of compound is abundant in this plant, and number two is the activity of the or the potential of the compound, that what is the more potent compound in this plant. Of course you can know it, compound from some plant is reported for more activities, so it means that based on the activity this could be the marker compound of this plant. And of course on the extraction reports or the extraction literature, you can find that based on the quantity, which one is the major compound of the plant. So you are right, there are many compounds and many group of compound in each plant, and of course many will have the activity. So the point is the major compound. What is the major group of compound or the major compound in that specific plant? So you have to focus on that one.
The most specific compound in every plant that you want to see for the antidiabetic activity. Okay, the next question is from Nabila Istiqlaila. How will technologies such as continuous glucose monitoring, insulin, or cell phone-based health apps change the way people with diabetes manage their condition? How do you see the future of this technology in improving patients' quality of life? Is it possible that in the future many new innovation will be developed?
Yeah, of course, we are running along with the technology.
Yes.
Human beings are running along with the technology, and there are many innovations and invention in every is, but in every part of life we can see that everything, even our phones are updating year by year. 5 or 10 years ago we have just a phone with buttons or something, but now there is, when you are getting the phone, there is no button, everything is on the screen. So I'm quite optimistic that there will be a time that we will have such technologies, or maybe we will have such applications through which we can manage different parameters. Like nowadays in smartwatches you can manage your cardio activity by knowing your pulse, by knowing your blood pressure and heart rate and other things. So of course, there will be one time that we will have some kind of innovations and technologies which could help us in management of different diseases, including diabetes. We can hope for the best.
We have to run with the technologies in our life,
Yeah,
right, Dr.
yes, yes.
Ajmal? Yes. Maybe for another question from
But
Muhammad
maybe
Junaid.
you will not, because now I have read a news about Indonesian government that they have banned the iPhone 16 in Indonesia, right?
Oh, you are
So
very updated for
maybe
news.
if there will be new applications, so if your government will not allow the iPhone or the Apple for the updated version, so maybe you will be messed, huh?
Yeah, yeah, there's some,
It's
I
okay.
don't
That's another
know.
debate. I'm just kidding.
No, no, it's okay. That's okay. But you're very updated with the news. I
Of course,
appreciate
I'm
that.
I you know Indonesia is my second home.
Oh,
I do visit every year. From last 3 years, I'm visiting continuously, and I'm spending
mm,
my summer vacation over there in different universities by conducting seminars,
yes,
conferences, lectures. Yeah, you can see in the first slide. Now I am assistant professor here, but I am adjunct full professor at 3 or 4 different Indonesian universities.
yes, di Ponorogo University, Muhammadiyah, and
So
others.
now I'm more used to with the
Yeah,
Indonesian, and I'm trying to learn the Indonesian language too. So maybe in the future, yeah, I will move for
maybe
some long
maybe in the
time.
next September you can speak to us in Indonesian.
Inshallah, inshallah, inshallah.
Inshallah.
Some
Thank you,
words,
Doctor.
at
Some
least
words,
the
yeah.
numbers.
Okay, we will continue to the question, shall we?
Is there
From
any
Muhammad,
question?
this is a question. From Muhammad
What
Junaid.
consideration should be taken when selecting plant to develop their potential as anti-diabetic? If you want to develop a plant for the first time, is basic research. Okay, whenever you are doing the first time research of any plant, if you don't have, I will just start from the background. Whenever we have to do this experiment on this plant, so how we decide? Either we decide from the literature search, but if you don't have any information about the literature search on that particular plant regarding that specific disease, so you go to the traditional system of medicine. If you have some information from the ancestors or from the old folk people, those they may inform you about the traditional knowledge that this plant has been used by their ancestor for this disease. So then you can tell. But still, if you don't have traditional knowledge, you don't have information in literature, how you can proceed? There are different ways. You can just decide one or two essays and you can screen different plants. And for example, you screen 10 plants, 50 plants, 100 plants, you will get some potent hit targets. And then you can choose those and then you can proceed on that. And once you decide that this will be my bioassay, so then you can do bioassay guided isolation. Once the plant extract will have good activity, so then you can proceed for fractionation. You can test each fraction each time by that assay and just select the potent one. So finally, you will reach at the point that there will be no further fractionation and you will get a novel compound that could be an anti-diabetic agent.
Thank you very much
So
for the
preliminary
explanation.
screening is
During
one way
explanation
how
portion,
you
right?
can proceed for that. Yeah.
Yes, for the next question, for the next process before the
Also,
fractionation and
also one
everything.
more thing, if you have if you have knowledge about the phytochemistry of that plant, so you can do before going to the lab, you can check the compound of those plant by computational, by in silico studies, by docking, and you can find that this compound is suitable for the anti-diabetic activity. So based on this compound, you can proceed for that plant.
Okay, so we can use in silico first, and then we can experiment, have an experimental in the lab to confirm the activity of the compound. Okay, is there any question from maybe another question, another two questions?
Yeah, sure.
Because you will have to pray at 1 p.m.
Yeah, I still have time, 15 minutes, no problem.
Okay, or the theme is which patient?
After Nabila,
After Nabila, yes.
and this is
Okay.
Aprilia. Okay, she
Yeah.
already, okay. No,
Okay.
Josfania. What are the key biological properties of berberine and how does its role as a marker compound enhance the understanding and utilization of the plant in traditional medicine and modern pharmaceutical application? As I told you that you can read my review article, so you will get more information about berberine and this plant. Okay. Alfie,
Setiawati.
permission to us, most group of chemical components in plant. Okay, I already answered, right?
Yes.
What of those chemical compound has the potential to be developed as anti-diabetic drug? So of course, you have to make fractions like flavonoid fraction, alkaloid fraction in different ways because they have different polarities. So you can extract in different solvents to have different parts, or you can use column chromatography for fractionation. And of course, the best fraction that will give you the best result in your bioassay will be the group that could be developed as a anti-diabetic drug. Halisa, what are the long-term impact of Rhenacanthus extract consumption on human health based on existing research? This is very good question. Of course, this is not an edible plant. Keep in mind, whenever you are planning some long-term work on herbal product, so you should focus on edible plants. If the plant is edible, so of course it is safe, 100% without any experiment. But if the plant is not edible, so you must keep both work together. If it is giving you a very good activity, on the other hand, you must keep the toxicity assessment by testing the acute toxicity, chronic toxicity, and other toxicity. So toxicity evaluation is very important. We did up to that and we did not proceed for the toxicity, but you are right. It has some toxic potent and maybe it will be a challenge to develop it into a product. But regarding the berberine one, I already told you that we are consuming it already. It is a edible plant. So of course we can go for a product. Okay, herbal interaction. What are the potential risk of herbal interaction in patient using natural antidiabetic alongside. Yeah, this is the point. Why I'm asking you that you must know the major and marker compound of the herbal material that you are consuming along with the allopathic drug. If you know the phytochemistry of the plant which are in the herbal product which you are consuming with the allopathic drug, so of course you can know the interaction. But if you are just using the extract and you don't have the knowledge about the phytochemistry and the exact phytochemical, so you cannot guess that what could be the uh, herbal interaction. Okay, another is Anisa. What is the effect of renacanthin D in on glucose stimulation compared with the renacanthin? What are the key enzyme in vitro inhibition? Okay, as I showed in my slides in my paper, renacanthin C was the major compound and it has more activity than D and N. So we just focus on C because by quantity it was measured and by activity it was measured. Shireen Febriana, she is
Gimana
asking
Jun?
how do anti-diabetic compound from natural ingredient compare to synthetic anti-diabetic drug in terms of effectiveness? Different compounds, either it is synthetic or it is natural, they have different chemistry and they have different pharmacophores. Of course, scientific validation either by in silico or by in vivo or by in vitro, you have to test and you have to compare with the available anti-diabetic drug to find the best one. Yes.
Dr. Ajmal,
Next.
maybe the last question from Nadia Nurfaiza.
Nadia,
Yeah, yeah.
could you
That will
please
be the last
describe
question.
the procedure behind the in vitro glucose uptake test? What is measured and how to analyze the result? Yeah, of course. Dear, if you can see in this slide,
Wow.
we have used the specific medium for this. We have incubated and then we perform the MTT assay for the what to say, for the cell viability and the glucose concentration that we have added in the medium. We have checked that either it is intact by the cell or not because we have to check in the medium. So more intake means that the compound enhances the glucose uptake activity. It is based on the glucose concentration. Another is Nadia Amelia. What is the purpose of adding 10% acetic acid? Oh, this is very interesting question. In separation using a column renacanthin rich extract. When you loaded the ethanol extract, that was just pure ethanol extract in the column, and then you wash the column with pure ethanol, so all other compounds come out. But the compounds, renacanthins, by ion exchange interaction, they interacted with the polymer in the column. So when we change the pH by adding 10% acetic acid, what it will do, it will change the pH. The whole story is around the pH. When there will be change in the pH, the compound will be released from the ion exchange later on. So that is the point, that how we can remove the other compound by 100% ethanol, and when we change the pH, so then we got the compounds of our interest.
Okay, the last
Rosalia,
question from Rosalia, yeah.
what is the
Doctor.
mechanism through which the compound exhibit both alpha inhibition? Okay, I have already told you that by in alpha glucosidase assay, there were non-competitive inhibitors, and acarbose is a competitive inhibitor, so that's why we did the combined effect. And for further detail, you may read the paper I have showed you. Just search by my name, you will get many papers and just read it. If you have still any question or if you don't understand or if you are interested in the future for doing some anti-diabetic activity, so you can contact me on my email or on my WhatsApp. I will guide you, no problem. Okay.
Thank you very much, Dr.
Yeah.
Ajmal. That will be the last question, and that was the end of the first session of the workshop.
You can share my information. This is the first slide.
Yeah,
I will
sure,
share
sure.
again.
We'll share the information to our participants.
I will share again the slide
Oh,
for
okay.
anyone if interested to work or collaborate. So just
Okay,
email
so
me, but for me, WhatsApp is more easier than email. So you can just text me and I will respond you and I will help and support you if I can.
yes, Dr. Ajmal. For all the participants, if you have any interest, you can email Dr. Ajmal by his email, ajmalshah at uhedu.tk, right? Or you
You
may,
can WhatsApp.
or you can WhatsApp, on this number, +92 3058265476. Thank you very much,
And hope
Dr.
to see you
Muhammad
next year.
Shah, for the knowledge that has been provided. Before you leave, we might have documentation and certificate given by our Chief of Bachelor of Pharmacy Program Study, Apothecary Chayuswantina. So, Apothecary Chayuswantina, the time is yours.
Thank you, Mrs. Elsa. Hello, Mr. Asmal.
Yes, I can hear you.
You remember me?
Yeah, thank you so much for the certificate.
Yes. Yes,
You
thank you for your
can send
material.
me by WhatsApp, okay?
Oh, yeah. Okay, thank you for your material, Dr. Asmal. This is certificate speaker for an award for you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for the team and to the Chief of Bachelor of Pharmacy Study Program University, Apothecary Chayuswantina, and thank you very much for Dr. Muhammad Ajmal Shah. That was very insightful. There is so many knowledge that we, all the participants, including me, have we know now, including one
And
interest. Yes.
hope to see you next year, inshallah,
Yes,
face to face.
inshallah. Inshallah, we will see you again in the next September, the next year. We hope that in all of us in health conditions, so we can gather again in the September next year.
Inshallah.
Yes,
Thank you.
inshallah. Thank
Take
you very
care. I'm very thankful
much.
to all participants, to faculty, dean, and your head of department, Dr.
Yes.
Anita, and
Yeah.
all the students who carefully and and they showed interest by asking the question. It means that they have listened me carefully and they had some interest. So I'm very thankful to all. So hope to see you soon, inshallah, next year. Take care. Bye bye.
Take care, Dr. Ajmal. Okay, so that was the end of the first session. Before we begin the next session, I would like to remind you some rules. First, always keep your microphone mute during the presentation. Second, all the participants are required to turn on their cameras during the event. Third, if you have any question, please type them in the chat box. And four, if there are any case of technical issues, try reconnecting to the platform or contact our team. Okay, now let us move on to our next session, led by our second speaker, Apoteker Melati Apriliana Ramadhani, MPharm. Assalamualaikum, Apoteker Melati.
Yeah, Waalaikumsalam. This is Salsa. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Am I audible?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you for joining us. Before we start, I would like to introduce Apoteker Melati Apriliana Ramadhani profile to the team. Apoteker Melati Apriliana Ramadhani, MPharm, is a registered pharmacist and academic researcher. She obtained bachelor and master degree from Ahmad Dahlan University with the thesis title Keragaman Isolat Acetylometes dan Uji Aktivitas Terhadap Staphylococcus aureus ATCC 25923 dan Escherichia coli ATCC 25922. Her primary research interests can be shown in some title of her research. They are penetapan kadar flavonoid dan fenolik total ekstrak daun insulin, serta uji aktivitas penurunan kadar glukosa nanopartikel ekstrak daun insulin, Tithonia diversifolia secara in vitro, and uji aktivitas antioksidan and optimasi formulasi granul effervescent nanopartikel ekstrak daun insulin. Apotheker Melati has published 30 research titles. One of them is Uji Kuantitatif Flavonoid and Antioksidan, Aktivitas Antioksidan, the Kombucha Daun Kersen, an author two-chapter book titled Microbiology and Virology and Pharmacognosy. She has many community service experience in 8 years, and the topic around her expertise in botanical field. Apotheker Melati is also the chief of editor in Indonesian Journal of Pharmacy and Natural Products. That was an impressive profile of Apotheker Melati April Ramadhani. The second speaker will give a presentation titled Antidiabetic Agent from Natural Compound. To Apotheker Melati April Ramadhani, the time is yours.
Yes, thank you, Mrs. Salsa. Yes, thank you, the Honorable Dean of Faculty of Health, Head of Pharmacy Department and her staff. Thank you for having me. Dr. Muhammad Ajmal, who has willing to attend and deliver the first topic. It's very great topic about diabetes mellitus, and the last but not least, to participants who have attended this workshop, international workshop today on the special day. Let us offer thanks to the presence of Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, who has given us His grace and guidance. Because of His grace and kita today, let's introduce myself. My name is Melati. I'm the one of lecturer in Department of Pharmacy in University Ngudi Waluyo University, and I will present about my research. Yes, now I will present about my research. And the title is Antidiabetic Agent from Natural Compound. Yes, next slide, please. Yes, diabetes, the topic today. Yeah, diabetes has a diabetes day. Yes, in November 14 November is an important day for diabetes. Diabetes has a diabetes day. It's a moment to raise our awareness about diabetes mellitus, because this is which refer to kencing manis in Indonesia. This disease becoming increasing common health problem and causes various serious complications if not treated properly. So you can treat your food, your drink, your health lifestyle for all of us to important the prevention and healthy lifestyle. Yeah, next slide. Yeah, the main discussion this topic. We can discuss about herbal plan for anti-diabetes, sharing of the result of my research, how metabolic secondary work to reduce the blood glucose level, and then extraction method, and then insulin level extract concentration for decrease the blood glucose level and isolation under glycolate in Antidiabetes paniculata. Yes, next. Yes, why we must using the traditional medication. Yes, in Indonesia, before we get into the main discussion, I want to discuss a little about the background of why we need using the traditional medicine. Why use natural ingredients that is owned by Indonesia Natur. Yes, in slide on the slide. Yes, you can see mega biodiversity Indonesian country. Yes, Indonesia is called mega biodiversity country. Why? Are there any participant who would like to respond? Why mega biodiversity Indonesia country? Why Indonesia is called mega biodiversity? Anyone?
Is there any participant who can answer the question? Oh,
Yes.
I guess
Yeah.
they're still on the leg because of the Professor Ajmal. So maybe it's a little bit slower to understand the presentation.
Yes, you can see mega biodiversity Indonesia country is for land and marine. Yes, why Indonesia called a mega diversity country, considering that Indonesia is country who rich in biodiversity. In short, we note that mega diversity country is a country that has the large biological natural in the world. Yes, you can see from land, it's more than 30,000 plants, and then many herbal plants, and from the marine, it's fish, and then uh, turtle, and then yes, seaward, species, it's from marine, can be traditional medicine. But in this topic, we can focus in the traditional medicine from the plant. Okay, next slide. Yes, you can see in developing country, plant-based medicine include pharmaceutical, health product, cosmetic, and food supplement have been in great demand since natural products are well known for their non-toxicity, less side effect, availability, and affordability. Yes, from the uh, synthetic drug, it's a high side effect. And in developing country like India, Indonesia, for example, the demand of herbal medicine has been increasing because they have a wide range of biological activity. Like previous slide, it's from the lands, it have many herbal plant. Herbal plant, it's costless and offer a higher safety margin than synthetic drug. Like paracetamol, mefenamic acid, and acarbose, yes, and etc. Yeah. Next. Yes, this is prevalence diabetes disease in world and in Indonesia. As explained by Dr. Ajmal, the prevalence of diabetes in the world, it has been said that prevalence of diabetes in increasing every year. Seeing the incidence of diabetes mellitus is increasing, please everyone pay attention to the food, drink that you consume, especially in Indonesia. There is a lot of contemporary drink such as teh jumbo. Yes, feeder copy. Yes. Anyone like to buy it? Anyone? Or the
Of course.
lecturer here? Or the
Definitely
lecturer
choose
here
the
like to
ring.
buy? Yes, yeah. Many, yeah. With the low price, yeah. You can buy the ST Jumbo with the 3,000, yeah. Yeah. So can you buy it? Can you consume it? Yeah. Yes. The answer is yes. As long as you pay attention to frequency of consume. Yeah. Don't do it too often. Yes. The answer. The question is, it is only sweet thing that can increase our blood sugar level. Everyone.
Everyone.
How do you respond it? It is only sweet thing that can increase the blood glucose level. It's only teh jumbo, it's only feeder kopi, teh kota, teh desa, ya. Yeah, the answer is no or yes. Yeah. The only sweet things, the answer is no, yeah. It is only sweet things that can increase our blood glucose level. No, yeah. All carbohydrate contain sugar. Vegetable, meat, fruit, yeah. It has sugar. So not only the sweet things can increase our blood glucose level. The food has fiber, yeah, is slowing to absorption the sugar process, so the blood sugar does not rise quickly. It's different if you eat sweet things like tea with very sweet, yeah, juice, yeah, it can decrease your glucose level very quickly. Yes, next. Yes, in herbal plan for anti-diabetes in this topic, I will discuss about two plants. That is the name of Latin name, it's Titonia diversifolia. Yeah, Titonia diversifolia in Indonesia. It's known as insulin plant. Yes, insulin plant. Has anyone seen this plant? Or Antidiabetic paniculata. Antidiabetic paniculata is in Indonesia name is Sambiloto plant. Anyone? Has anyone seen this plant? Titonia diversifolia or Antidiabetic paniculata? Or around your house? One of Titonia or Antidiabetic is grow at your around house, because two plant, yeah, Titonia diversifolia and Antidiabetic paniculata is a wild plant. Yes, both of this plant can grow wild and quickly. So you can see that two plant, Titonia and Antidiabetic, in your around your house. Yes, next. Yes, on the slide, yeah, that's a graphic part of the plant. Frequently used plant parts. Yeah, what parts are often used in herbal plant for treatment? Yes, from the picture, the most frequently used part are volume. Yeah, volume is the Latin name. Does anyone know what the Indonesian name of volume? Volume? Yes, the student third and fifth semester. Can I speak with myself? Hello, hello. Yes, maybe Adelia Widianti. Yes, do you know what is the Indonesian name of volume?
Simplicia daun, Miss.
Yes, daun, yeah, daun. It's leaf, yeah. Yes, to make the thank you, Miss Adelia, yeah, to make health formula from the natural ingredients or make a rational and scientific herbal preparation. It's necessary to pay attention to a renewable source of raw material, yeah, that will never run out. Yes, if we use volume, yeah, volume in the plant, it's very much yeah than other part of plant, yeah, like a stem or caulis, yeah, bark or cortex or root. Yeah, and the Latin name it's radic. Yeah, so 42.5% of traditional medicinal ingredient use leaf or as raw material. Yeah, based on data, the use of stem, bark, and root is estimated to damage the ecosystem only around 4 until 8%. Yes, next slide. Yes, so in this research, especially for my research, insulin plant is part of the plant. We use the volume or leaf. Yes, insulin leaf, one of the plant who can support decreasing the blood glucose level is insulin plant. Yeah. Insulin leaf contains secondary metabolite which have the potential to reduce sugar level, including flavonoid, phenolic, saponin, tannin, alkaloid, yeah, and each of which has a mechanism action that supporting and help each other to reduce the blood glucose level. Yes, you can read on the slide. Yes, mechanism action of flavonoid is protective of damage of beta cell which produce insulin and can restore and increase the sensitivity of insulin receptor on cell. Phenolic increase insulin secretion and can repair beta cell, pancreas, and the other saponin, tannin, alkaloid have a mechanism action of decrease the glucose level. So flavonoid, phenolic, saponin, tannin, alkaloid, supporting and help as each other to decrease sugar level. Yes, next slide. Yes, this is my research results from the process of extraction. Yeah, process of extraction. This is insulin leaf. Insulin leaf. The result that my team and I carry out with was fresh insulin leaf, which were made into the dry simplicia. Yes, before we start the extraction method, we can make the simplicia before simplicia dry simplicia, then continue with the extraction process. In this research, the method is macerasi and reflux. As you know, maceration is a cold extraction, and the reflux is a hot extraction. And then maceration and reflux process has a product. The product is insulin leaf extract. And for not the reflux, use the temperature under the control. Yes, not using high temperature to maintain the stability of secondary metabolite. After the extraction process is complete, the product of extraction is a crude extract, or the thick extract. And then the extract, and then the thick extract of fractionation process was then carried out with the addition of enhexane, aqueous, and ethyl acetate. We use water fraction, which then the analyze flavonoid and phenolic. Next slide. Yes, this is qualitative analysis. Yes, in my research, qualitative analysis using TLC method from the image on the slide egg. Yes, the flavonoid, there are RF results which are indicator for analysis. The standard compound used in flavonoid analysis is quercetin. Yes, why quercetin? Because quercetin is a flavonoid. After viewing in under 254 nanometer UV light, the RF produced by extract, maceration, and reflux was the same or almost the same as quercetin. So if RF value same or almost the same, is it called conclusion that both extract from extract method contain flavonoid. Yes, so this phenolic, the RF result, RF value produced by extract are almost the same of the RF produced by gallic acid standard. So insulin leaf extract with reflux and maceration contain phenolic. Yes, and the next slide. Yes, this is after qualitative. The result of quantitative analysis of flavonoid and phenolic level. Quantitative analysis of flavonoid and phenolic level in this research use spectrophotometry method. So you can see total flavonoid level use the maceration and reflux. The reflux have more flavonoid than maceration. So there's flavonoid phenolic level. Yes, flavonoid and phenolic level were higher in the reflux method. Why? Why reflux method? Why reflux method have a higher flavonoid and phenolic level?
Tidak tahu.
Why? Yes, because reflux, reflux is a hot extraction method. Raising temperature during the extraction process can accelerate mass transfer and affective the solubility of the compound that will increase the extraction result. So that reflux have flavonoid higher than maceration. Next slide. Yes, the fractionate extract with reflux method, because reflux method have flavonoid and phenolic higher than maceration. So the process make nanoparticle preparation. Yeah, nanoparticle preparation. What is nanoparticle? Before we discuss about nanoparticle, anyone familiar with nanoparticle? What is nanoparticle? What is the purpose of making nanoparticle? Can nanoparticle do sex from increase the biology activity of the compound? Can nanoparticle more effective to decrease blood glucose level? Okay, let's look the next slide. Yeah, everyone, all participants, are you still enthusiastic with this topic?
To all the participants, please answer the question from our
Yeah,
speaker.
I need hear your voice before we go to the next slide.
Anyone? Can anyone answer the question from Apotheker Melati? The question is
Maybe,
about nanoparticle. It seems so
Okay.
quiet in here.
Next, go to the next slide. Yes. Before we discuss about nanoparticle, yeah, to see is nanoparticle effective to decrease the blood glucose level? Yes, in this research, activity tests of reducing glucose level with in vitro method. Yes, with in vitro method. Yes, in vitro method is enzymatic method and non-enzymatic method. Yeah, in this research, we use non-enzymatic method with Nelson Samogi. Yeah, Nelson Samogi was chosen because the method more selective, more sensitive. We can measure in a small concentration with a high level of selectivity, easier to control compared to enzymatic method. So we choose the non-enzymatic method with Nelson Samogi. Yes, next slide. Yes, this is a little principle from the Nelson Samogi method. Yes, principle of Nelson Samogi method. The amount of suffix precipitate of reaction is this is after the wait. Yes, after Cupri reaction with reducing sugar. Yeah, the amount of sucric acid precipitated, the reaction with the arsenomolybdate reduce the blue molybdate. Then the blue color of molybdate is measured using UV phase spectrophotometry. Yes, in this research, measure using UV phase spectrophotometry. Maximum wavelength obtained is at 7,152 nanometer. Yes, and then series concentration of the standard profile obtained, which can then be used to analyze to reduction in sugar content in the extract. Yes, next slide. Yes, before testing the sugar content reduction in the extract, the physical properties of the nanoparticle preparation were first carried out. The results obtained are shown in the table on the slide. Yes, you can see the physical property is a particle size, polydispersity index, and transmittant percent value. Yes, flavonoid and phenolic is a secondary metabolite that has pure bioavailability and unstable. So we can solve the problem. Yeah, we can solve the problem with nanoparticle dosage form. Yeah, nanoparticle dosage form with flavonoid and phenolic often can fail the clinical fail in the clinical phase due to low bioavailability of natural compound like flavonoid and phenolic. Low bioavailability is caused by low solubility in water, reduce the penetration of absorption barrier. Because of that can affect the bioavailability of compound comes from natural ingredient in the body. Because of that problem, like low solubility in water, and then reduce the penetration of absorbing barrier. So we can make a formula developed so that the bioavailability of natural compound can be increased. Yes, therefore making nanoparticle is a solution of the problem of low bioavailability of natural compound in insulin leaf. Yes, the particle size is 100 until 300 nanometer, and the transmittant percent value with percentage 90 until 100 threshold, so that the formulation has a clear and transparent visual appearance. Yes, next slide. Yes, tool for analysis of nanoparticle of insulin leaf extract is particle size analyzer. The picture is on the slide. You can see the tool for analyze the particle size. And then the result of tools like the picture on the right side. Yes, next slide. Yes, this is the result of the reduction glucose level. Yes, in this research, insulin leaf extract and nanoparticle leaf extract with the 50, 70, and 90 ppm. The result obtained from this research were extract of 50, 70, and 90 ppm is able to reduce glucose level by 14.78%, 29.04%, and 55.91%. Well, for nanoparticle at concentration 50, 70, and 90 ppm is able to reduce glucose level by 27.30%, 46.33%, and 69.08%. Yes, the result of reduction glucose level can be seen from the effective value concentration, or EC50 in insulin leaf extract is 85.30 ppm. Well, the nanoparticle is 72.32 ppm. Yes, value of EC50 is inverse proportional to the properties of the compound is lowering glucose level. The smaller the EC50 value means the stronger power to lower glucose level. So the flavonoid and phenolic it's work to decrease the blood glucose level. Yes, next slide. This is a mechanism flavonoid to reduce glucose level. Flavonoid can increase secretion of insulin in cell beta pancreas, increase taking glucose tissue, and increase sensitivity tissue to insulin. Like Dr. Atmal said. And as previously statement, if insulin doesn't work properly, glucose will not enter the bloodstream, or glucose cannot enter the cell. So if glucose cannot enter the cell, blood sugar level will increase and cause diabetes. So flavonoid can increase the secretion insulin in cell beta pancreas. So flavonoid can support to decreasing the blood glucose level. Yes, next slide. Yes, the next plan is Antidiabetic paniculata. Yes, in Indonesia, Antidiabetic paniculata is known as sambiloto. This is a bitter plant. Yes, if you consume the Antidiabetic paniculata is the bitter. So, what is the bioactive compound in Antidiabetic paniculata? Yes, like in the slide, bioactive compound of Antidiabetic paniculata is andrographoloid. The structure andrographoloid is on the slide. Yes, and the question is, how does it work to reduce blood sugar level? And then what is the isolation method to take andrographoloid from the Antidiabetic paniculata? Yes, next slide. Yes, this is a distribution of Sambiloto or Antidiabetic paniculata plant. You can find at Indonesia, West Indies, South India, Sri Lanka, Northeast Asia, area of Java and Malaysia. Yes, you can find in Indonesia. Sambiloto is a wheat plant. And Sambiloto, if you can yes, next slide. This is structure of andrographoloid. The main andrographoloid is diterpenoid. The main diterpenoid in Antidiabetic paniculata is andrographoloid. Found approximately 4% in dry whole plant extract, 0.8 until 1.2% in stem extract, and 0.5 until 6% in the leaf extract. Yes, you can see based on data, andrographoloid have 0.5 until 6% in the leaf extract. More higher than the other part of plant in the stem extract, in the whole plant extract. Yes, whole plant extract in pharmacognosy it's named herba. Yes, herba, it's mean use all the part of the plant. Next slide. Yes, this is a mechanism of action of andrographoloid. Andrographoloid plays a role in several biological activity, including antidiabetic effect, anti-tumor effect, anti-inflammatory effect, neuroprotective effect, pulmonary protective effect, anti-depression effect. Yes, the mechanism of underglycolate as lowering blood sugar level by increasing tight junction protein. You can see in the picture, reducing oxidative stress and reducing inflammation. And then underglycolate, it's inhibitor SGLT2. What is SGLT2? Yes, SGLT2 is sodium glucose cotransporter 2, which is in antidiabetic drug used to treat type 2 diabetes mellitus. Yes, this drug work by inhibiting the reabsorption of glucose by the kidney. So the glucose will be extracted in the urine and blood sugar level will decrease. So underglycolate, its work by inhibit SGLT2. Yes, next slide. Yes, this is in isolation method. The underglycolate isolation method refers to the reference from Sukri et al. Research with entitled quantification of underglycolate isolate from Antidiabetic paniculatanus obtained from traditional market in Yogyakarta using validated HPLC. Yeah, next slide. Yes, this is the procedure, yaitu produce the high purity product from natural plant, the isolation and purification of the target compound from complex multi-component mixture are needed. Yes, in Antidiabetic paniculata, it's not obtained just underglycolate, but the other metabolite obtained too. Yes, like flavonoid, phenolic, saponin, tannin. So if we will take the underglycolate, we can purity of isolate underglycolate. So the isolate underglycolate can ensure the pharmacological effect. Yes, the isolation procedure, the Antidiabetic paniculata extract with ethanol, and then the produce is thick extract or crude extract, and then crude extract must be fractionated with N-hexane. Yes, the result was then fractionated using N-hexane. Next, insoluble fraction of N-hexane was fractionated with ethyl acetate, and then insoluble fraction with hot water diluted using ethanol to produce purified extract. And then after this, let's using silica gel GF254 GF254 in column chromatography. Yes, evaporation process in this isolation to vaporize the solvent. So we can have a thick extract. Okay, next slide. Yeah, this is the procedure of column chromatography. The extract was eluted using a mixture of methanol and chloroform. Methanol and chloroform is a mobile phase in column chromatography. After the clear solution and then collected, Yes, it was left for 24 hours at 4 derajat Celsius to produce undergravolate crystal, which were then collected and was using the cold methanol and cold hexane. The procedure is on the slide. On the picture, you can see undergravolate paniculata simplicia, and then the extraction method with maceration, and then the isolation of undergravolate can use column chromatography, and then recrystallization, and the produce is undergravolate purity, yeah, purity undergravolate. Yes, next slide. Yes, this is a result of the undergravolate purity or undergravolate isolate from Undergravis paniculata. The figure show that undergravolate isolate was crystalline and colorless. Yeah, the color is white. This is to analyze the melting point to analyze if what is undergravolate, it's very purity or not. Yes, the melting point result is a melting point of standard undergravolate between 200 227 until 233 derajat Celsius, and isolate undergravolate were 227 until 234 derajat Celsius. So the melting point is same. This analysis was aimed to prove the spectra of isolate undergravolate were similar to the standard undergravolate to confirm the functional group in determination of the molecular structure. Yes, you can see the slide in figure 3. It's spectra FTIR of standard undergravolate and isolate undergravolate. Spectra standard undergravolate and isolate undergravolate, it same structure, same spectra. So yes, the next slide, TLC method. Yes, in this research, analyze the undergravolate with TLC method too. Yeah, TLC was intended to ensure the presence of undergravolate in isolate crystal by comparing its chromatography profile to the that of standard undergravolate. The TLC, you can see the RF value. The TLC use mobile phase with 3 mobile phase. The first one, ethyl acetate and acetone, and the other, chloroform and methanol, and the last, chloroform and acetone. Yes, the picture I have a code A, B, and C. You can see the RF, it's same standard undergravolate with undergravolate isolate. So the conclusion is the undergravolate isolated its purity. Purity contain the undergravolate. Yes, this is a conclusion. The undergravolate isolate from Undergravis paniculata obtained from traditional market in Yogyakarta had a similar melting point. Yes, like my previous slide, the melting point of the standard underground solid is same with isolate underground solid, and the ER spectra same too with isolate and standard underground solid, and TLC test it's have same RF value. So the purity of isolate underground solid compared to the standard and determined using the validated HPLC was 95.74%. So this Sukri et al. Research and my team research about plan who can decrease the blood glucose level. So thank you very much for thank you very much for your attention. I will back to Mrs. Salsabila.
Thank you very much, Apotekar Malati, for that insightful presentation. Now it's time for the question and answer session. We have one question. You might want to directly answer the question. It's from Risa Laila Fifta. Okay. What's the type of nanoparticle you formulate from insulin leaf? And how about the stability of this nanoparticle? Is it possible to combine insulin with other natural products? Do you want to directly answer the question, or I have to read all of in one?
Yes, I can answer directly. Wait. Okay, Mrs. Risa, thank you for your question. I will answer it. Yes, nanoparticle in my research. Wait. Yes, nanoparticle in my research use ketosan and NATPP. Yes, this is nanoparticle crosslink and stability of this nanoparticle. In this research, we analyze about the physical particle, just physical particle. So the stability of this nanoparticle, it's not clear. So we just see in the physical particle, just physical particle. So is it possible to combine insulin with other natural product? Yes, very possible. We can combine insulin leaf with the other natural product, but we must check of the concentration. So if we use high concentration with leaf insulin and high concentration with the other insulin, can decrease glucose level very low, and maybe it can danger. Yes, dangerous the patient. So we need the other the research to improve the research by combine insulin leaf with the other plant. Like that, this is Salsabila.
Okay, thank you for the answer, Professor Karmawati. There's some question from Arika Nuri. Is it permissible if flavonoids are combined with other natural or pharmaceutical compounds, such as berberine, in one nanoparticle to produce a stronger synergetic effect in the treatment of diabetes? Or does it actually risk reducing effectiveness or even increasing side effects? Combination,
It
another
permissible
combination.
if flavonoids are combined with other natural or pharmaceutical compounds, such as berberine, in one nanoparticle to produce a stronger synergistic effect. Yes, yes, like question before, previous question, if we combine insulin leaf with the other plant or undergravolate with other compound metabolite secondary, we need take a note for concentration. Yes, because like that high concentration in insulin leaf or high concentration and the other plant or other metabolite secondary metabolite, it can dangerous for patient because maybe can decrease the blood glucose level very low.
Thank you for the answer. The next question is from Zarina Selma Deswanda. What is the mechanism of action of natural products in lowering blood sugar level?
Yes, like in my PowerPoint, you can back to my PowerPoint maybe.
Yeah. The explanation has been explained from our speaker in her presentation. You might note the explanation in that presentation. Another question from Sultan Rizky Saputra. Why is the use of volume so high compared to other plant parts? Why do the leaves contain more tannin, flavonoid, etc.?
And I see in the question.
The question.
Why is the use volume so high compared to the other plant? Way to the leaf content? Yes, maybe in the volume so high. Why is the use of volume so high compared to other plant part? Like compare. Yeah, like my previous explanation about part of the plane, 42.5% research use volume or leaf. Yeah, why leaf? Because leaf most part because leaf most part in the plane. Yes, you can see plane is have much of more of volume than radix or rhizome. It's more pure, more poor compare the leaf part. Why do the leaf contain more tannin, flavonoids? It's not like that. The concept is not like that. We have to prove which the part of plant have flavonoid, phenolic, tannin higher than other plant. So we cannot consume that leaf. It's leaf have metabolic secondary more higher, higher than other plant. Can you catch my explanation, Mr. Sultan? Mas Sultan,
Is there any feedback
can you
from Sultan
understand
Rizky
my
Saputra?
explanation? Yes, if you question why do the leaf contain more tannin, flavonoid, not it's not. You have to prove that the other part of plant like rhizome, radix, yes, cortex, contain tannin, flavonoid, like that. So in example, curcumin in kunyit nih, plant kunyit in Indonesia, curcumin contain higher in a part in rhizome than the other part, and then undergravolate. Yes, in my PowerPoint, undergravolate contain higher in the leaf. Yeah, and like Singiber in the Singiberis rhizome, yeah, same with curcumin, yeah, contain higher in the rhizome, like that. Yeah, cinnamon, yeah, it's higher in the cortex. So we can apa namanya assumption, we cannot assume that flavonoid, tannin, it's contain higher in leaf. Yes, I hope you can understand my explanation, Mas Sultan.
Thank you very much, Apotheker Melati, for the answer. The next question is from Adelia Widianti. The two plants, namely Tithonia diversifolia and Andrographoliid, which have been described, have antidiabetic therapy but severe mechanism. Is it possible if these two plants are combined and made into a herbal medicine in the future?
Yes, Tithonia diversifolia and Andrographoliid have different mechanism because in the Tithonia diversifolia contain the flavonoid and phenolic. So the mechanism action like explanation in my PowerPoint. And then Angiographies paniculata contain angiographolid. Angiographolid included in diterpenoid. Yes, diterpenoid, it's metabolic secondary terpenoid. So the mechanism action, it's different with flavonoid phenolic in the Tithonia diversifolia. Yes.
Thank you for the answer.
So the metabolic secondary in different group. Yes, as you know, the metabolic secondary is flavonoid, phenolic, tannin, saponin. Yeah, it have mechanism action its order. So the mechanism is different. And is it possible if these two plants are combined and made into a herbal medicine in the future? Yes, very, very possible, but we need to prove, yeah, like my explanation, my previous explanation, if we want to combine plan A with plan B, yeah, we need to prove, yeah, if this two plan we use in research, yeah, can decrease the blood glucose level, not until the low. Gitu is if combined two plan can decrease glucose level very low, it can dangerous of patient. Yes, Mrs. Salsa.
Thank you very much for the answer. Then the next question is from Anissa Dewi. Besides considering the different mobile phase used in the TLC analysis, ethyl acetate and acetone, chloroform and methanol, chloroform and acetone, what can you infer about the polarity of andrographolid and the optimal condition for its separation using TLC? How might the choice of mobile phase impact the resolution and sensitivity of the analysis?
Yes, thank you for your question, Miss Anissa. Yes, TLC analysis is a qualitative method use mobile phase. Yes, mobile phase. We can analyze the andrographolid at Sukri et al. Research. Yeah, use ethyl acetate and acetone, chloroform and methanol, chloroform and acetone. It's have comparison. Maybe you can back to my PowerPoint, Mr. Aji, so we can see the combine the solvent used in the mobile phase. Yes, as you know, andrographolid is a non-polar metabolic secondary. It's a diterpenoid. The last slide maybe. Yes, the researcher in that research, it's one comparison with three mobile phase. Yes, you can see ethyl acetate and acetone. Yeah, 5 and 3. So, and then chloroform and methanol, chloroform 9 and methanol 3, and chloroform and acetone 7 and 3. Yes, you can see the mobile fase, it's more polarity, it's non-polar. Yes, you can see chloroform and methanol. Chloroform, it's non-polar solvent, and methanol, it's polar solvent. And chloroform acetone. Chloroform is non-polar solvent, and acetone, it's polar solvent. Kemudian, next ethyl acetate and acetone with that comparison, you can see its mobile fase produce the its RF value. Yes, RF value-nya RF value the RF value it's different with mobile fase A, mobile fase B, and mobile fase C. Yes, but the its mobile fase can produce the RF value. You can see the RF value undergravolate standard and undergravolate isolate have same RF. So we can use three combined mobile fase to analyze qualitative undergravolate. You can see the spot of LC of TLC. The spot is same, but its mobile fase have its spot. But the spot the spot appear when spot. Maybe you can understand my explain.
Is there any feedback from
Yes,
Anissa?
the best LC, the best LC, it's when appear spot.
Anissa Dewi
Yes,
has replied that she is understand through the explanation Mrs. Melati.
yes, maybe in Indonesia hasil dari RF yang baik adalah muncul satu noda. You can see in the mobile fase, it's appear one spot, and it's 3 mobile fase, and it's not tiling. So in the future research, if you want to analyze the undergravolate, you can see you can use one of the mobile fase in reference with Supri et al.
That's the great explanation from our speaker. The last question, Watakar Melati, is from Rizka Miftahur. She wants to ask, what compound can be used as anti-diabetic agent in andrographis paniculata, and what is the mechanism of action as an anti-diabetic? I guess it's
What compound can be used as anti-diabetic agent in andrographis paniculata, and what is the mechanism of action as anti-diabetic? Okay, it's here is the explanation. It is in my PowerPoint. Like my explanation in PowerPoint, andrographis paniculata have bioactive compound or a marker compound. The name is andrographite. Yes, and andrographite have many biological activity like anti-diabetes, like anti-inflammatory, like andrographite can use to antihypertension too. Yes. So the answer is compound can be used as antidiabetic agent in androgenetic paniculata is andrographite. And what is the mechanism of action as antidiabetic? Andrographite in androgenetic paniculata work by inhibit SGLT2, like my previous explained in my PowerPoint. Wait. Yes, andrographite work by inhibit SGLT2. SGLT2 is sodium glucosa cotransfer 2. Andrographite inhibit SGLT2 can reduce inflammation, oxidative stress, and then if andrographite can reduce inflammation and oxidative stress, will be excrete the glucosa in the urine and blood glucosa level will decrease. Like that, the mechanism of action of andrographite in androgenetic paniculata. Yes, the concept is inhibit the SGLT2.
Okay, thank you for the explanation from Apotheker Melati Abdul Ramadhani. That was the end of the second session of the workshop. Thank you, Apotheker Melati Abdul Ramadhani and Fam, for the knowledge that has been provided. The next agenda is the vice head of the Bachelor of Pharmacy Study Program will present the certificate to our speakers. To Apotheker Agitya Resti MSc, the time is yours.
Good afternoon, Mrs. Melati.
Good afternoon, Mrs. Agitya Resti.
Yeah, on behalf of Pharmacy Study Program, we would like to express our deep gratitude to Mrs. Melati for delivering an exceptional, inspiring session today and willing sharing your research. This certificate is a token of our appreciation for your expertise and insight have been valuable in enriching our knowledge. We are truly honored by your presence and your willingness to share your time and expertise with us. Thank you, Mrs. Melati.
Yes, thank you for having me, Mrs. Agitya Resti. Thank you for all participants who give me many questions. Hopefully, my explain can understanding you.
Thank you very much, Apotheker Melati. Ladies and gentlemen, I have to inform you, to all the participants, the presence link has been shared in the chat box. The link can be accessed until 8 p.m. So if you can easily find the link and answer all the link in there to presence that you are present on our workshop today. Okay, as we come to the end of today's workshop, let us take a moment to reflect on the key insights and valuable knowledge we have gained. Throughout the session, we have explored the topics isolation and mechanism action of antidiabetic agents from natural compounds, which have provided us with a deeper understanding and practical approach to antidiabetic agents from nature. I would like to express my deepest gratitude to our esteemed speakers for sharing their expertise, to the organizer for their efforts in making this event success, and to all participants for your active engagement and enthusiasm. Before we close, let me summarize the key takeaways from today's session. First, diabetes mellitus is a chronic metabolic disorder characterized by hyperglycemia as a main symptom. There are so many natural sources to be explored to find a new safe, effective, and economical compound as therapeutic compound, such as anti-diabetic agent. One of the green methods we can use as an alternative from the extraction method that we have is microwave assisted extraction as a simply and effective method that can be found in our daily life. And an important note from Dr. Ajmal Shah that we have to understand the mechanism target to explore nature compound of resources. The major compound and marker compound from the plant has to be known before we can explore the activity. Some natural products that have been mentioned, such as Rhinacanthin nasutus, Barberries lyceum, Tithonia diversafolia, known as insulin leaf, and Andrographis paniculate, known as Sandiloto. From Rhinacanthin nasutus, we can found Rhinacanthin C is a major phytoconstituent from leaf extract that is responsible for anti-diabetic potential. Berberine in Barberries lyceum has an anti-diabetic activity. Besides, the Barberries lyceum can be used as one healing or fungal infection. From Apotheker Melati, we know that nanoparticle insulin leaf show anti-diabetic agent and also androgophilic crystal from isolate purified extract can be determined by FDAR antioxidant spectrometer after fractionation and column chromatography as a method for isolation of natural compounds from natural resource. We hope this takeaway will inspire you to implement new strategies and pursue further learning. That concludes today's webinar. On behalf of Bachelor of Pharmacy Study Program, Mudiwaluyo University, I would like to apologize for any inconvenience during the online workshop. I also extend my sincere gratitude to our speakers who were sharing their knowledge and insights. Thank you for everyone in the audience for your active participation. Let us continue to apply the knowledge we have gained and strive for excellence in our respective fields. We look forward to seeing you at our future events. Have a great day and see you next time. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
Thank you for everyone and all participation. The online workshop is done. I will end the presentation and the seminar to the team.